Welcome. Today we bring you this, what we deem not so much an unholy Bible or deeply satanic, but more of a self-help, self-realization book. There are bits and pieces throughout this particular book where it says hail Satan, etc. But it explains why it's not the Satan that we will come to know, or we think will be in this book. So let's have a look at the PDF that we downloaded for free. We can leave you a link to get it free online under this video. And if you like this particular video, please subscribe to our channel that it features on. Give us a like, add your comments below, and we'll get back to you on those as soon as we can. And then share this particular video with all your family, friends, neighbours, etc. who are into self-help, self-realisation, etc. for telling them that it's not as satanic as it appears to be. So let's have a look at this ebook. Introduction. The Unholy Bible. The Book of Concealment is about embracing the hidden shadow aspects of ourselves in order to become whole. While the Kabbalistic Tree of Life represents the conscious mind, the dark tree, which is the roots of the Tree of Life, represents the subconscious. The 22 chapters of the Book of Revelations are based on the 22 major trump cards of the tarot deck and the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet, which are the paths on the Kabbalistic Tree of Life. I'm not too sure about that Revelations claim. The Kabbalah are esoteric teachings to explain the unchanging infinite Ein Sof, infinity, and the mortal finite. This Book of Concealment is based on the 19 Enochian keys and the 19 major cards of Satan's tarot deck, created by revered George Sprague of the Church of Satan, which has dark Gothic images relating to the shadow parts within the subconscious. This is not the Satan of Christian myth. We're heavily stressing that. So the religious folk out there don't get all uppity and silly and say, oh, it's a book of Satan, it's a devil, oh, you should read it, all this sort of stuff, right? It states here, this is not the Satan of Christian myth. The word Satan here is used of the original Hebrew meaning of Satan, which just means adversary or accuser, an accuser. We do not believe in an absolute good versus evil. Nothing is 100% bad or good. Yeah, so that's what it's based on, that particular word. Jewish rabbis will tell you, he's an adversary, he's an accuser, he's a sidekick, worker for God, putting all human beings to the test, or a test. There are 22 paths on the Tree of Life to reach that union with infinite light, or infinite light. The Tree of Life also has roots that grow in the opposite direction. It is a tree of death, or the dark tree, also known as the tree of knowledge of good and evil. The dark tree is no more evil than any roots of any tree. In Buddhism, there is mention of 10 worlds. 3 of those worlds are the worlds of blindness. Those worlds are hell, hunger, and animal. These worlds are concealed within us. Most are blind to them. That is why this is the Book of Concealment, because it's about becoming aware of those concealed aspects within us. We need to honour in order to become whole and enjoy all worldly pleasures. The first card of the 22 trump cards is the Fool card. The Fool is about the start of the journey into unknown territory. It is beginning and the end, the Alpha and the Omega, with the Aleph and the Tau. The 19 shadowy cards are also associated with the 19 Enochian keys in the Satanic Bible by Anton LaVey. The shadow aspect of the Fool in the other deck is key, which one is associated, which is a pact with Satan. This is an allegory of working in harmony with your ego. In order to start your journey, one must honour the ego. So take note of that. This is an allegory. Define that word, right? To get its full meaning in a sentence. Define it online. Of an allegory of working in harmony with your ego. In order to start your journey, one must honour the ego. The ego, as many teach, is not bad. It's needed for survival. It just needs to be healed. The psychoanalyst Sigmund Freud talked about the id, ego, and superego. What he called the id is the instincts and drive. It works on the pleasure principle. It seeks immediate gratification of any impulse. It survives to avoid pain or unpleasure. Freud considered this to be the realm of the unconscious. It is not unconscious as Freud says. That which he called the id operates from the reptilian brain. The anatomy of the human brain has three parts: the reptilian brain, limbic, and neocortex, which all interact together. Our reptilian brain includes the main structures found in a reptile's brain: the brainstem and the cerebellum. The reptilian brain is reliable and also rigid and compulsive. It is responsible for the three worlds of blindness in Buddhism. The reptilian brain or id is only goal. Reptilian brain or id's only goal is to satisfy the instinctual needs based on the pleasure principle. It doesn't reason, it doesn't care or have the awareness that it could be destroying the host, which is you. The ego seeks to please the id's drive in realistic ways that will benefit in the long term rather than bring grief. When the ego is weak, then the id takes over, where the individual becomes compulsive to the whims of the id. A strong ego is a healthy ego, which is needed to benefit the id at the same time, benefiting the individual in long-term pleasure. This is what the unholy Bible, the Book of Concealment, is about. It is the understanding of the occult. The word occult literally means hidden, shut off from view, concealed from exposure. Occult is the knowledge of the hidden. In this book, the hidden are the realm of the subconscious that is associated with the animal instincts, desires, and why we experience inner torment. This book uses unholy scriptures as allegories. Again, going to find that word, so you fully understand it, so there's no misunderstandings, about strengthening the ego through the awareness of the subconscious, so that you can live to the fullest, life to the fullest, enjoying all your earthly pleasures to your benefit. Concealment 1. The concealment of Lucifer. 1. The concealment of Lucifer, who in Greek is called phosphorus, which Satan, Diablos, it'll be in Spanish, etc., gave unto him to show those who are strong, that was signified by his demon, unto his supporter Demona, who bear record of the word of Satan and the testimony of Lucifer, and all things that she saw. Demona to the 9 temples which are in Sharon, which is here, from where the 9 spirits before the throne of the king of hell. This is a statement from Satan to understand the secular laws of existence. There are earthly beings and absolutes. Lasting power resides in these boldly who recognize it. And don't forget, again, it's talking about in the Hebrew, the accuser, the adversary, not the Christian Satan that they will come to know and recognize. It's that which is against you, right? Possibly your subconscious mind, according to this book. Here is where one takes the pact and achieves worldly pleasures. Life is like a game of chess or like any other game, which applies rules. You must know how to play the game. Like games, there is strategies and skill to develop. There is no God looking out for those who are considered good. Nature rewards those who know how to play the game of life. And from a son, Mammon, personified demon of wealth and greed, and the Lord of earth, to whom we appreciate, who bless us with riches. Okay, there's the Greek word there, Mammon, the god of money, wealth and greed. In the ancient original Assyrian Aramaic, Tab Eshet, Ishan Atik Sapre, it's Mamuth. Wealth and fame and fortune. Basically, that's what it means. And from his son Mammon, personified demon of wealth and greed, and the Lord of earth, to whom we appreciate, who blesseth with riches. So here, this Mammon is, most people would think, or Christians especially, it's the root of all evil. Money's the root of all evil, or is it actually not? It's not, okay? It's how you use it that makes it evil. If you use it for evil purposes, then it's evil. It's evil because you don't have enough and you want more, and you get more, and still you don't have enough, so you want more, and so on. Hence being a demon of wealth and greed. For he has made us kings and priests of the world, to indulge in the pleasures of life infinitely. Behold, he rises up with a wolf, and shall enter into all the hearts of men, and those also frown upon him of the earth shall wallow in pain because of him. Even so, I am the Lord of the earth, the beginning of secular pleasures and the completion, said the Lord, which is the Lord of frugality and the Lord of the jungle. Demona, who also am your sister and companion to the loves of life, was in the isle called Pyrasmos, temptation, for the word of Satan and for the testimony of Lucifer. I was driven on the Lord's day and heard a great voice, saying, I am the Lord of earth, the beginning of secular pleasures and the completion in that which you see. Write in the book and deliver it to the 9 temples which is in Sharon, Cerberus, Kerberos, Thanatos, Melinoi, Nyx, Tartarus, Ichthys, Styx, and Eurenomos. So, sort of like, has this Revelations, Book of Revelations theme. And I looked where the voice spoke to me, and I saw 9 silver candlesticks with black candles, and in the midst of the 9 candlesticks one like a son of beast, dressed in iron armour, holding a hammer in his right hand and holding a sword in his left hand, hammered into a ploughshare. He also carried a bow with arrows. Upon his head were bull horns with long curly coral brown hair, flowing but untidy, with feathered wings, wearing a crown. Looks a bit like that image on that Vlad Dracula movie, the poster there. The young guy with the long hair and a moustache, and the wings behind him, all that sort of stuff. Reminds us of that picture. Except I think he just had a sword. Upon his head were bull horns with long curly coral brown hair, flying but untidy, with feathered wings, wearing a crown. And his limbs were that of burnt peacocks, and his voice as the sound of chilling whispers in the night. And in his left hand 9 stars, and out of his mouth came flames of fire, and he had the countenance of the dead, or he had like probably an appearance or face of the dead. And when I saw him, I was startled, and he put his left hand upon me, saying to me, Fear not, I am the Lord of the earth, the completion of worldly pleasures. I am he that lived and always lived, and have the keys to the gates of hell. Write the things which you have seen, and the things that are, and that which will come. The mystery of the 9 stars I saw in his left hand, and the silver candlesticks of black candles, are the archons of the 9 temples. Commentary. Lucifer is personification of enlightenment. Symbolically, he shines the light in darkness so that we can see. The first step toward enlightenment is to be grounded. We live in a material world, and when we are worried about material survival, we cannot be grounded. Being grounded is being in the present moment, which one cannot, with concerns and anxieties about material survival. This is where, in the myth, Lucifer's son Mammon enters. In a sense, Lucifer is concealed within Mammon, or Mammon is concealed within Lucifer. Mammon is a personification of material wealth and greed. We are conditioned by the right hand path that greed is always a bad thing. Wanting more is a normal human instinct. It is okay to want more. The problem is when we are attached to wanting more while lacking gratitude for what we have. It is this obsession that leads to destruction. This is the unbalanced, unproductive greed. Balanced greed is being grateful for all that we have while still wanting more. We live in a material world, therefore we cannot ignore it. You can try all you want, though if you desire to keep a roof over your head and to have some comfort, one cannot ignore the importance of money. If you are concerned how you are going to pay bills and keep food on the table, are you really expressing who you really are in life? Can you really do what you want to do? Can you move freely in this world? Life is about being happy, and that is by doing what you want to do, doing what is in your heart. Material gain is an extension of oneself and a tool to have freedom in this world and for survival. The more material gain is the better for survival. Okay, so we can relate to that. Okay, we believe that there is some truth in that, because you need money if you're living in a worldly country, state, city or town or community, to have a roof over your head, to have food and drink, to have pleasures like the internet, etc., etc. It takes money, doesn't it? So you need money, unless you go and live out in the middle of the bush in a mud hut. Okay, but unless you knew what to eat in that particular area, you're not going to survive. Right? So you'd naturally, if you were getting away, you'd take a backpack of seeds, canned food, etc., and maybe a bow and arrow and stuff, weapons to catch food, like rabbits, etc., running around that particular forest or bush area. So money is an important part in your life, part of your survival. Material gain is a necessity to function in life. With material gain you have freedom to go anywhere in this world. Over here it says you basically live life and try to do what you want to do, right? But it's something that may prevent you from doing that. Okay? The system. We've got to a point where we can basically do what we want to do, but we're 96% dependent on government, right? For our residence, for our food, for our drink, for our pleasures, right? Okay. No one can say that they're 100% free of the matrix or free of the system. That's a total load of rubbish, right? So you're probably about 90% reliant on it, or more. Material gain is a necessity to function in life. With material gain you have freedom to go anywhere in the world. Yeah, limited freedom though. You can express your heart's desire toward others. It can be used to improve relationships with others. How well can your romantic relationship last if you don't see your partner that often due to lack of money for transportation? How long would it last if your partner wants to do the things and you don't have the money to even go out? Yes, walks in the park and giving of you are important. Giving of yourself is the most important thing. How much of yourself are you giving? If you are only physically there while your mind is concerned about future due to lack of money. Money can improve this because you are more confident and can be more in the present now, which is required to give of yourself. When you lack confidence, you cannot fully give of yourself because your mind is in the future concerned about rejection or failure. Indulging in greed is wanting it all while you have gratitude for what you have, while motivated to strive for more. Greed is a necessary instinct to get things accomplished in life. So again, we say yes, this is fact. Yeah. The word Satan just means adversary. Again, we're stressing it especially to the religious factions out there, Christians, etc. This particular book states the word Satan just means adversary or accuser. The word itself doesn't mean the evil. It is a neutral word that can be used as adversary. Here, Satan is the adversary to the taboo about material wealth, or the no-no, right? Society has taught us how it's better not to have material goods. Well, yeah, Buddhism teaches you that as well. We realise, yeah, okay, we'll go with that, because there tends to be a lot of people that come in and steal your stuff, right? They're a visitor, a family, whatever. They steal what you have, right? Or friends or family, right? and come and steal your stuff. Okay, so the word Satan just means adversary. The word itself doesn't mean evil. It is a neutral word that can be used as adversary. Here Satan is the adversary to the taboo about material wealth. Well, no. Society has taught us how it's better not to have material goods. It is about a balance. One can have material wealth without being consumed by it. Wealth is more of a state of mind. A farmer who has all his resources to live his life fully is wealthy even if he has no money. He is wealthy because he is free to do what he wants. Through society's eyes, he doesn't appear to be rich. He may live in a shack where he is living off the grid, providing his own electricity. All the food he ever needs may be at his farm. Today, especially here in the West, the poorest person lived better than the wealthy hundreds to thousands of years ago. Yeah, so all it is about living and surviving, right? Creating that means to do that. Okay, it's not necessarily all about money or totally money orientated. The adversary is going against what society's view of the wealthy. The adversary is going against what society's view, or what is society's view of the wealthy. Society says wealth is having a bunch of pieces of paper or currency called money, where one can have lavish living. Yeah, a lot of people think, because I got the latest car, got the latest house, all this sort of stuff, that makes me wealthy. Okay, look at me. Yeah, it's what some men use to attract women, right? Because some of them are very money orientated, materialistic, i.e. money grabbers. Society demonizes the wealthy. They are mostly viewed as immoral. Adversary goes against both of these views. Wealthy is having the resources to be free to do and express who you truly are. Yeah, that frees you up. Yeah. If you're doing your own thing and making money, on autopilot, etc., if that's possible, or automatically, you've got this income coming in every day, every week, every month, continually, then that frees you up, yeah, to do what you would really want to do. Diabolos is the Greek word for accuser. The accuser in court pulls up the facts to prove one is guilty or innocent. In Jewish law, Satan is accuser of men before God, laying to their charge the violations of the law of which they were guilty, and demanding their punishment. He was the heavenly prosecutor in Jewish mythology. This is symbolized by cause and effect, karma. Every action has repercussions. They will either benefit us or harm us. Those who wear masks to hide their true nature will expose themselves by their own making. The name Demona means south. The four cardinal directions and the elements in zodiac associated with the south are the elements earth. Earth is associated with being grounded in reality. In the Satanic Bible, Belial is associated with earth element. Belial means without a master. It symbolizes true independence, personal accomplishments, and self-sufficiency. Being a Demona would mean one is self-sufficient and grounded in hardcore reality with objective reasoning. The 9 temples that she delivers a message to are the 9 realms of hell within us. They are the 9 spheres on the roots of the Tree of Life, which is the dark Tree of Life. In order to become whole, we must embrace the shadow side within us. Wisdom is in the dark places within us, not outside us. Here is where you must see life as a game. I do not mean be reckless. Lasting power is when you face challenges in life. Many of us take life too serious and see challenges as problems. When we see adversity as problems, it causes unnecessary stress. If you had this attitude while playing a game of baseball or poker, you would be tempted to quit when the odds appear to be against you. You continue playing because, or you are continually playing because you see the game as a challenge which you find fun. Okay, that could be you continue playing. Okay. Therefore, instead of seeing obstacles as problems, see them as challenges to overcome, which are opportunities for growth. Behold, he rises up with a wolf and shall enter into all hearts of men. And they also frown upon him of the earth, and those also frown upon him of the earth shall wallow in pain because of him. Even so, the wolf symbolizes a strong connection with your instincts or intuition. The instinct to want more is in the hearts of all. Those who fall for the lies of the masses and frown down upon that instinct will experience that pain of longing, not having enough. I am the Lord of earth, the beginning of secular pleasures and the completion, said the Lord, which is the law of frugality and the law of the jungle. This is about mastery over the earth, which first include mastery over your own body. Long-term hedonism only comes from discipline, where one is not being impulsive due to reacting to every whim. The law of the jungle is lex satanicus. In the Church of Satan there are 9 satanic statements and the 11 satanic rules of the earth, which guides one into knowing what is required to live a life of long-term pleasure instead of short-term pleasures that lead to nowhere. Here is a general of the 9 satanic statements. The indulgence, vital existence, undefiled wisdom, kindness, vengeance, responsibility, man, Satan, temptation. Of the 9 statements, number 8, which is Satan, represents the so-called 7 deadly sins. When balanced, they all lead to physical, mental and emotional gratification. Without them, we would have no desire to procreate or survive at all. If you wish to know more about these 9, they are in the Satanic Bible. The 11 Satanic Rules of the Earth by Dr. Anton LaVey are listed below. Do not give opinions or advice unless you are asked. Do not tell your troubles to others unless you are sure they want to hear them. When in another's lair, show him respect or else do not go there. If a guest in your lair annoys you, treat him cruelly and without mercy. Do not make sexual advances unless you are given the mating signal. Do not take that which does not belong to you unless it is a burden to the other person and he cries out to be relieved. Acknowledge the power of magic if you have employed it successfully to obtain your desires. If you deny the power of magic after having called upon it with success, you will lose all you have obtained. There's those spells out there they say you can cast this and that, love potions, all this sort of stuff, love spells. We personally don't think they work, okay? But that could be why, because we deny the power of it, okay? It's just reality. It didn't work, okay? Do not complain about anything to which you need not subject yourself. Do not harm little children. Do not harm little children. Do not kill non-human animals unless you are attacked or for your food. Non-human animals. When walking in open territory, bother no one. If someone bothers you, ask him to stop. If he does not stop, destroy him. It's kind of hard there. Maybe you can do it verbally, emotionally, something like that. In a nutshell, this means to mind your own business. Do not cross other people's boundaries and don't let anyone cross yours. If they do cross your boundaries, you have the right to defend yourself by kindly asking them to leave or go to the proper authorities. Also, part of the law of the jungle is frugality. When you succeed achieving material gain in your life, show thrift by not spending it foolishly. That's very, very true. Or having other people that have access to it that spend it foolishly because they'll wither it away. There is a book called The Millionaire Next Door, The Surprising Secrets of America's Wealthy by Thomas J. Stanley and William D. Danko. This book shows how frugal the wealthy really are. By their appearance you would never know they were wealthy. The truly wealthy are modest and appear to be like everyone else. When applying these principles while being grounded in reality, you can enjoy earthly pleasures infinitely in the eternal present moment through discipline. When we are grounded in reality instead of wishful thinking, we can then enjoy and really love life as it is, not caught up in delusions that someone out there is going to save you and look out for you. Only you alone have your own path and can make things happen when you make the steps towards life. The word of Satan and the word of Yahweh complement each other. The word of Satan is doubt. This is about having critical thinking. Healthy skepticism is logical, therefore don't believe anything and always question everything with an open mind. When one does, one doesn't fall so easily into the trap of unproductive pride and false piety. One then begins to come into awareness that we are our own God. The word of Yahweh is I am, which means you are God and only you can create the life you want. The Mona, who also am assistant and companion to the loves of life, was in the isle called Peirosmos, temptation for the word of Satan and for the testimony of Lucifer. Okay, so yeah, sounds like Revelations. John being on the island of Patmos, imprisoned there because of the word of God, Christ, and the testimony of Christ coming from John, right? The isle called Peirosmos is Greek for temptation. In this life we are always tempted. We are tempted to either do better for ourselves or tempted to do something foolish that will hurt us in the end. Many try to fight temptation and do so strengthen what they are fighting against. We can learn from the Cherokee legend about the two wolves. An old Cherokee is teaching his grandson about life. A fight is going on inside me, he said to the boy. It is a terrible fight, and it is between two wolves. One is evil. He is angry, envy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, false pride, superiority, and ego. He continued, the other is good. He is joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, benevolence, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith. The same fight is going on inside you and inside every other person too. The grandson thought about it for a minute and then asked his grandfather, which wolf will win? The old Cherokee simply replied, the one you feed. Therefore, this is an allegory of the instinct of temptation inside us. You cannot fight it, you just have to work with it and feed the temptation that you desire. Take that with a grain of salt, because that temptation may be illegal or get you in a pile of doo-doo. Example, you wish to quit smoking cigarettes. As long as you fight to quit, the desire to continue smoking will increase. The secret to quit smoking is to feel what it would be like if you didn't smoke. Good concept. Feel and imagine how good it would feel to have an extra money in your pockets, how good your lungs would feel to breathe easier, how much healthier you will be without cigarettes. Just by focusing on this, you are feeding the temptation to better your health. In return, the temptation to continue smoking weakens. Yeah, that's a good concept. I was driven on the Lord's day and heard a great voice. With that temptation to smoke, you actually should, if you want to quit, you have to decide, do you really want to quit? You have to really want to quit. I was driven on the Lord's day and heard a great voice, saying, I am the Lord of earth, the beginning of secular pleasures and the completion, and that which you see, write in the book and deliver it to the 9 temples, which is in Sharon, Cerberus, Thanatos, Melinor, Nyx, Tartarus, Achilles, Styx, and Eurynomos. And I looked where the voice spoke to me, and I saw 9 silver candlesticks with black candles. The 9 silver candlesticks with black candles, like the 9 temples, are different psychological realms within us that represent our shadow self. The 9 names are the Greek names of 9 gods of the underworld. Yeah, what's this? Is this Norse? Styx. The person who takes you in the boat, you end up going across the river Styx. Right? This is the Greek for the boat of the dead. Not sure of these other ones. This is where that wolf, right, with the is that in the myth of Romanus? Essentially, the 2 twins who were fed by that wolf. Each of these 9 gods in Greek mythology has a different role in the underworld where the river of lost souls resides. The river is called Acheron, which is the river of pain where the dead row over. It is sometimes called the river Styx. In Greek myth, there are 5 rivers that reflect the emotions associated with death. All 5 rivers converge at the centre of the underworld. On a great marsh, punishment required being drowned in muddy waters for eternity. This is symbolic of being stuck in the eternal moment of our own hell due to unsatisfiable hunger. The 5 emotions associated with the rivers are hatred, pain, forgetfulness and oblivion, anxiety and restlessness and wailing. The great marsh where the rivers converge was also called Styx. This word comes from the word Stygian, which came to refer to anything dark, dismal and murky. Charon is the ferryman who carries the new souls across the river Styx, and Acheron that divided the world of the living from the world of the dead. Cerberus, is the hound of Hades, that guards the gate of the underworld to prevent the dead from leaving. Thanatos is the personification of death. Inwardly, this is the realm of acceptance. This is where we go inside and die to become something new through introspection. Melanoa is a nymph who is the bringer of nightmares and madness. Nightmares are caused by our own fears. When we confront what we fear and deal with it, then the nightmares cease to exist. Nyx is the personification of night. She is the mother of Thanatos, death, and Hypnos, sleep, who are twins. Tartarus is both a deity and a place in the underworld. Tartarus is also the unbounded, first existing entity from which the light and the cosmos are born. Tartarus is a dark pit. The bottomless pit is within us. When we get stuck there, we cannot see any hope for anything. Within the dark pit is also light. There is wisdom in dark places. Many times we look outward to find the light. That is the wrong place. It is within. In Greek myth, the volcano symbolizes this pit where the source of light is hidden. In Peter Kingsley's 2 books, In the Dark Places of Wisdom and Reality, goes in detail about the myth of the underworld, symbolizes introspection in order to gain info to grow. Eclipsis is the eternal night, perhaps the mist of death, which fell before the eyes preceding death. According to Hesiod, she was the personification of misery and sadness and existed before chaos. Styx is a deity and a river that forms the boundary between earth and the underworld. Styx supported Zeus in the Titanomachy, where she was said to be the first to rush to his aid. For this reason, her name was given the honour of being a binding oath for the deities. She may symbolize that oath we make to ourselves. Eurynomos is the spirit of rotting corpses dwelling in the underworld. The 9 represent the 9 clip-off of the tree of darkness that connects at the root of the tree of life. These 9 realms of hell are also in sync with the 9 satanic segments. To know more about the 9 realms can be found in Reverend George Sprague's book, The Gates of Hell. Here are the names of the gates: initiation of death, caverns of repetition, justice, kindness, vengeance, birth of satanic age, initiation of light, darkness, temptation. Reverend Sprague also has a tarot deck with dark imagery called Satan's Tarot that goes with his book, which can be used for gate walking into each of these realms. The purpose of gate walking is to receive information that can be applied to improve your life. The 9 silver candlesticks with black candles also symbolizes these realms. Silver symbolizes human thought. Silver symbolizes the silver cord of mystery schools. The silver cord is considered to be the link between our material and non-material selves. Gold symbolizes the divine, for it is the color of the sun. Silver is the human mind. The human mind is what is needed to walk the path. And in the midst of the 9 candlesticks, one like a son of beast, dressed in iron armour, holding a hammer in his right hand and holding a sword in his left hand, hammered into a ploughshare. He also carried a bow with arrows. Upon his head were bull horns with long curly coral brown hair, flying but untidy, with feathered wings wearing a crown. And his limbs were that of burnt peacocks, and his voice as the sound of chilling whispers in the night. In his left hand 9 stars out of it, and out of his mouth came flames of fire, and he had the countenance of the dead. In the middle of the 9 candlesticks of like that of the son of beast is different aspects within us that is symbolic of the 9 heavenly bodies in the solar system, which are also in sync with the 9 spheres on the tree of darkness, the 9 realms of Hades, shown in diagram 1. Having bull horns belongs to Moloch, who is associated with planet Neptune. There are 2 demons associated here. The 2 are Moloch and Satan. Here is the temptation of the 2 wolves. There is the lesser temptation which has a high cost of sacrifice, and the greater temptation that benefit the well-being. The one you feed wins. The bow and arrows are weapons of Beelzebub, who is Uranus. The arrows and the bow symbolize action towards greater heights. Beelzebub's role is to tempt men with pride. Pride is necessary for self-respect. It is unproductive pride which is self-righteous and useless. The long curly coral brown hair, flowing but untidy, is that of the Luciphage, which is the planet Saturn. He has control over all of the wealth and treasures of the world. Having feathered wings and wearing a crown is that which belongs to Astaroth, which is the planet Jupiter. Astaroth is believed to know all secrets. He led people to hidden treasures and give mortal beings over the power of serpents. Power over the serpents is Kundalini, balancing the electrical current in the back. This is that part of us that has that eureka moment that inspires us with an idea. The flames of fire from his mouth belong to Asmodai, who is Mars. He governs the many realms of pleasure, discovers and guards treasures, and gives the ability to read others. Having the countenance of the dead is of Belphegor, who is the Black Sun. He is a demon of ingenious discoveries, inventions, and wealth. He bestows wealth on those he likes by giving them unique ideas how to become successful. Dressed in iron armour, holding a hammer in his right hand and holding a sword in his left hand, hammered down into a ploughshare belonged to Baal, also called Tubal Cain. He is considered the first chemist, for he was a forger of all things bronze and iron. He is a symbol of worldly possessions. This is the planet Venus. The limbs of a peacock belong to Adramelech. This is planet Mercury. Adramelech is skilled in guile and ambition. He is a powerful king, symbolizing independence and immortality due to his peacock tail and feet. He is the dark soul guide, transforming and empowering properties that reach beyond the realm of the living, and in this world, cunning, eloquence, wit. The trilling, seductive voice of the screech owl is that of Lilith, the night spectre. She is associated with the moon. Lilith is considered the incarnation of lust. She represents the material world and all its pleasures. She is the ultimate seductress. Lust is necessary for procreation. Without it, no one would have any desire to have sex. Lust also comes in the form of lusting for life. We are social animals and get our needs met by socializing with others. The sex drive subconsciously drives us to interact with other people. When we are shut off and isolated, we are left vulnerable from the sources that we need. Building a wall around us actually makes us more vulnerable to pain. Sex drive frees the creative energies in us that can be used for success in other areas of life. The moon, which is of the element water, affects tidal waves and our emotions. Lilith also symbolizes the dark feminine in all of us that is needed to embrace to become whole. And there's looks like a tarot card. Son of the Beast, maybe. The mystery of the 9 stars is left hands of 9 realms of hell. The clip-off of the dark tree connected by Malkuth. The tree of life and the tree of darkness both share the same sphere of Malkuth kingdom. The left hand symbolizes the left hemisphere of the brain. This is the side of the brain associated with logic. Nothing in this world is totally good or totally bad. Everything has a seed of its opposite. In the Holy Bible, the right hand symbolizes spirit, while the left symbolizes the automatic thoughts from the left hemisphere that are an obstacle. The right is not all good and the left is not all bad. There has to be a balance between both hemispheres of the brain. The opposite seed within the right hemisphere is unproductive pride and self-righteousness. The Witch of the East and the Wizard of Oz symbolizes self-righteousness. One cannot even begin to walk the path when they are filled with unproductive pride to the point they think they have all the answers. This is why the witch had to die before Dorothy could even begin to follow the yellow brick road. In this Book of Concealment, the left hand symbolizes logic and objective reason instead of automatic judgmental thoughts. Automatic thoughts are based on subjective reasoning, based on our own prejudices. Objective reasoning is based on evidence, not biases, feelings, and imaginings. The idea is to be down to earth in concerning one's belief in the nature of reality. One cannot claim to know the absolute truth when it comes to reality. Example is there is no evidence that God as a being exists, and at the same time there is no evidence that he doesn't exist. The most useful approach is to view God as the most important thing or person in the universe. The person best to choose is yourself. The concept of God can be used as an emotional asset to tap into. Since all that exists is of the same substance, that of the universe, then it's most useful for the individual to see themselves as God. The universe isn't good or bad, it is beyond those concepts. It doesn't reward some and punish others, and it is neutral and indifferent towards any concept of good or bad. it has immutable laws, and either we are in harmony with it or we are not. Concealment 2, the 9 stars and 9 lampstands. To the Temple of Sharon, okay. And it gives an explanation. To the Temple in Cerberus, scripture and then the explanation. To the Temple in Thanatos, again scriptures and an explanation, and it carries on like that. This is the singer. To receive the light we must go through the darkness. We must never forget that hidden behind a large amount of darkness is a large amount of light. Madonna, possibly that popular singer of songs like a Virgin and Papa Don't Preach, etc. And here's some explanations here. Let's go back here just for something that might be very interesting. Okay, let's go from here. Satan symbolizes all the so-called 7 deadly sins. These 7 are basically instincts. These 7 are basic instincts within us. Without them we could not survive. They provide mentally, physical, and emotional gratification. Without these primal instincts we would die. They are only harmful when unbalanced. A 4th century monk, Evagrius Ponticus, listed 8 evil thoughts in Greek, which were, here they are here, 7 deadly sins. Later they were translated into the Latin of Western Christianity, largely due to the writings of John Cassian, thus becoming part of the Western tradition's Catholic devotions. In AD 590, Pope Gregory I revised this list to the standard list of sins that spread to other Christian denominations that still use it today, which is pride, greed, lust, envy, gluttony, wrath, and sloth. How's Peter? Right? Due to the good guy badge that the church wears, they have used these to make others feel guilty for any of these. Being over excessive is unhealthy. There must be balance. To try to totally eliminate these are a losing battle that creates shame and excessive guilt. Those basic instincts are a part of us, like our ego is. You cannot get rid of it. The closest individuals without an ego are those in mental institutions who have no identity. These are the ones who claim to be someone else each passing moment. Even still they have an ego, it is just very weak. At the core of all our actions is done for ourselves. There is rational egoism, which is called rational selfishness, and so forth. When you are committed to gratify all your true desires, you will then have mastery over your life. This is symbolic of the throne given to you. Talking about the next sphere associated with the heart chakra on the dark tree of life is kindness. Kindness it is about showing kindness to those who deserve it, not wasted on ingrates. The misinterpretation of Christianity beliefs show kindness even to those who don't deserve it. At the moment they teach they can always change. The author personally struggled with this himself, give to others that don't give a crap, who are just using, people on the sidewalk, they ask for money and stuff, and then you find out they're wanting it to use it to feed their addictions, like alcohol or drugs or cigarettes. Okay, this author's emotional life would be easy by dropping the ingrates who are just users. It is about judgment, where you help those who want help, those who deserve your kindness, who are grateful and willing to return kindness. You are not obligated to help everybody who asks for it. Enochian keys 14 and 15 are the paths from vital existence and undefiled wisdom to kindness. It goes on about vengeance, about man, and so forth. "24 ancient ones that stood with the 4 crown princes of hell are the 12 cranial nerves and 12 zodiac signs. When the 4 aspects of ourselves are in harmony with the cranial nerves that govern our body, we can perform what appears to be miracles. The serpent they stood before symbolizes the zodiac Scorpio. The sun begins its journey in the southern hemisphere in Libra. The southern hemisphere symbolizes the underworld where the winter dwells. Libra begins in September, which is the 7th month in the Romulus calendar. Libra symbol are the scales of balance. The idea of the scale is to take 2 opposites and different things and measure the difference between them. All of our actions are being weighed. The scale dictates according to how the scale tips. The decision is made as to who will be rich or poor, and so on. It is all based on our actions, what the outcome will be. The idea is to tip the scales in your favour of what you want. Scorpio ends on the 9th month of the Romulus calendar. Is associated with sex, death, power and transformation. Scorpio is about transforming that which is bitter into sweet. Make lemons into lemonade. It is easy to get caught up with seeing everything in black and white, good or evil. This type of thinking causes neurosis. This is the mild mental illness that most are plagued with. This is when we don't see reality as it is and instead see things such as events worse or better than they are. When things don't work out, this mentality causes one to see that everything is horrible. The zodiac sign Scorpio has 7 astrological symbols. The astrological sign Scorpio has 7 symbols. The spider associated with selfishness, is the least evolved Scorpio symbol. The scorpion is the most well-known scorpion sign. The lizard, the serpent, the wolf, the eagle or dove, the phoenix. In the myth of Little Red Riding Hood, she and her grandmother is eaten by the wolf. Red Riding Hood symbolises the setting sun, the sun in Libra that sets into the southern hemisphere. As Scorpio, Libra and Virgo are consumed by Scorpio. The wolf is one of the symbols of Scorpio as well as the serpent. Scorpio is a good time to focus on negative patterns, the ill feelings we harbour and the grudges that we may bear. The more we illuminate this, the more those patterns fade away. Instead of using mind games to master fear, be honest with yourself. Face your fears so you can get rid of them. This can allow us to have the courage to take the actions needed to bring us closer to our goals. The serpent, which is Scorpio, can allow us to use our emotions as a focus toward our goals. Emotions can be the fuel used in magical ritual. Like horses, emotions, when harnessed, can take us a long way. And it's more on Scorpio, zodiac sign, and so forth. Okay, so this book continues on for another 150 or so pages, but so far it's pretty interesting. If it truly is about your ego, your id, yourself, self-improvement, self-sufficiency, etc., it's possibly a good guide if you don't lean towards the satanic belief that it's satanic, so evil, etc., etc., and take on board what it's actually saying, in regards to self-help, success, self-sufficiency, etc. So we hope that you found this video and this delve into this book interesting. If you did, please subscribe to our channel where it's featured, and add your comments below. We'll get back to you on those as soon as possible, and then share this video with your friends, family, neighbours, etc. that have a avid interest in self-help, sufficiency, and so forth.